Hello, and welcome to Visiting Our Inner Child, healing through conversations with our inner child. Thank you so much for joining me today and for being so courageous for showing up for this workshop. My name is Tespora the Explorer. I'm a meditations facilitator and educator at heart. This is my first time speaking, so I would hope that you would allow me some grace. And I would like to preface the session by saying that I am not a medical professional, but I am passionate about the edification, evolution of Black women and our mental and emotional health. And I hope that by sharing the tools that have worked for me, that it can help work for you as well. And so today we're going to meditate and write a letter to our inner child and be there for the part of us that's living inside of us. And by practicing the art of intentionally connecting to our past, we are going to be able to fast forward and release those burdens with ease that we carrying with us throughout our daily lives. So very quickly, I would like to go over the agenda for today. I'm going to talk a little bit about what is inner child work. I will share a little bit about myself and my journey. We're going to talk about who is your inner child. And then we'll go into our inner child meditation and then our journaling session. So if you can, please prepare a paper and a comfortable, safe space. So before we start, I have a question for you. How often do you check in with your family, your besties, your partners? I'm curious. I know perhaps there's some sort of consistency happening there. Maybe you check in with each other every day, maybe once a week or once a month. And I know for sure you definitely got your bestie on speed dial, because I know I do. So why don't we do the same with our inner child? I want to encourage us to show up with that same consistency as with our family members, as our besties. We should be doing the same when it comes to working with our inner child. So what is inner child work? Inner child work involves rediscovering all the emotions and the memories that we have been forced to suppress. And due to suppressing these emotions, we never actually got the chance to deal with them. You're probably wondering what your inner child has to do with your entrepreneurial journey or your professional development. Well, our inner child manifests through our daily decisions, whether they're conscious or unconscious. Our inner child is within us when we're taking actions. Our inner child has everything to do with our journey in our professional development. Have you ever found yourself perhaps frustrated or stuck or angry? Have you ever found yourself having difficulties navigating landing a new client or jumping and taking advantage of opportunities? Maybe you find yourself having trouble with putting yourself out there and really creating a stage and a platform for yourself. If you have any of these mental blocks, it's definitely a sign that your inner child is asking for more support from you. Our inner child holds all of our emotional memories, and they present in our bodies and in our thought patterns. And so we need to understand our inner child's patterns and really connecting them to our adult lives now. By doing so, we can heal from those long-standing hurts. We can heal from those things that our inner child is still holding on to, and just really allow us to play and explore again. Because I feel like as adults, we've lost that. And you're probably thinking, play? I'm here to work, not play any games, like I understand that sentiment. But when we think about going back to our childhood, going back to being a kid and playing, you were curious about everything. You were so open and so willing to try new things. You took risks and chances, and you had fun doing it too. And I think particularly as Black women, especially, we feel like in order for us to be successful, we have to be perfect. We have to prove our worth and not let people see our weaknesses. We feel like we must overcompensate. And we take mistakes very, very, very seriously. But this can hinder our process journey. And this is how we begin to let fear of failure really define us. But failure is just feedback. Failure is really just falling off that jungle gym. But I know every time we fail, we got up. And I know because you're still here. And so I want to encourage you to play with your inner child, because play is how we connect with creativity. Play is singing of our lungs with no worries. Play is dancing in the street. Play is flowing. Play is without thinking about what others are thinking of us. Play is being in our own world, validating our own self and not being tied to the outcome. Play is flowing, play is free, and we're going to do that as we connect with our inner child today. So like I had said before, if you ever had any troubles or hesitations, any mental blocks when it comes to accepting new opportunities, landing a client, you can benefit from having a little chit chat with your inner child. And so for me, why is inner child work so important? For me, inner child work is truly a form of resistance. Black suffering is hugely overlooked, largely minimized in society. And so inner is really our way of decolonizing our bodies and our minds. deconstructing what we've been taught and what we've been brainwashed throughout our generations. It is about reconnecting back to our younger selves and honoring ourselves, our bodily autonomy, and while honoring our past and our ancestors in the process as well. And it is such a privilege that we get the chance to take on this work, not only for ourselves, but for the generations ahead of us. And it's not easy. I know, because I've been through this journey. I spent the last 6 years living and traveling and teaching as a science and English teacher in Japan. This is a picture of me in Japan. And I decided to move there because I had a fear of public speaking, and I knew no matter what I did, I would have to overcome it. But what I didn't realize was that I was running away from my own voice, because living in a foreign country can do that to you. It's hard for you to communicate with other people. And so I really got stuck in my own little bubble. And so after a series of events of losing people close to me, toxic work culture and harassment, it really had me return back to this little girl right here. This is my inner child. Look at her smiling, she's so cute. But underneath those smiles, she always felt so voiceless. She identified as the good girl, the A+ scholar, the overachiever, because growing up, her family would always put so much pressure on her to be perfect. While she grew up, her parents would always tell her that she was too bossy. And so she lost her voice over time and even hated her voice growing up. People would tell her that she was an Oreo because she sounded like a white girl. And on top of that, she came from a musical family, but she wasn't quite musical herself and wasn't blessed with the vocal cords. She remembers singing on stage on a solo in church and just crying her eyeballs out because she wanted to make her family happy, but she had her own reservations and her own fears. And so some of these situations, they don't feel like such a big deal, but to us as little kids, they were huge deals, especially since we were still learning and developing, and we didn't know how to deal with these emotions. And so who is your inner child? Who do you identify with? Whether you identify with these types, the good girl, the A+ girl, the jokester, the angel, the Peter, whether you identify with these types or whether someone placed these perceptions onto you, they all impact how you navigated your childhood and thus how you navigate your adulthood. And so today we're going to talk to our inner child. And so I've brought together 5 questions that we can use to check in with our inner child. With our meditation today, we are going to use some of these questions to have a conversation with our inner child. And so I would like to very quickly go over some of these questions. The first one is, how do I feel? And how is that feeling showing up in my body? So it's important for us to identify our feelings. For example, I feel anxious, but also checking in to feel how it feels in our bodies. Perhaps your shoulders are tight. For me, I get sweaty hands and palms. Even right now, they're a little sweaty. I also get shallow breaths as well. So it's important to attune to those physical sensations that are going on. The second question we can ask is, how can I validate and fully accept these feelings? It's so important that we come with a self-acceptance and that we validate our inner child's feelings and that we allow the feelings to flow into our bodies. For example, we can say, it's okay to feel scared. It's normal. You're safe to allow these feelings to come into our bodies now. The third question we can ask is, what can I do with my inner child? We're going to explore this a little more in our journaling session about how we can take our conversation and move it into action, move it into quality time, move it into play with our inner child. The question is, what affirmation or advice can we leave with our inner child? And lastly, from these affirmations, what action can we take to align back to our values and the things that are important to us again? So before we get started with our meditation, I just want to remind us that inner child work is not one or done. It's a constant practice. So we must practice it, and we must build a relationship with our inner child. And we can trust to be the inner parent now. It's so important that we put trust in ourselves, because sometimes the people around us, when we were children, they were not equipped with the tools to model for us and to help us with what we needed most. But with compassion and empathy, we can break these generational curses. And we're evolving collectively. And so in order for us to do that, we can hold compassionate space, and we can hold our inner child's hurts and worries. And so now that we've gotten an overview of inner child work, let us proceed with our meditation. And so I would love for you to get, if you can, into a comfortable position. I'm going to start playing some music. If you're in a safe space, I would love us to take this moment to come back into ourselves and to close our eyes and ground ourselves into our bodies. Let's start by taking a deep breath in and out. Once again, if you're in a safe space, take this moment to take a deep breath in and out. This meditation goes out to the little girl inside of all of us. The little girl that never got recognized for her glory, her royalty, her worth, her opinion, or sometimes her existence. The forgotten little girl that felt invisible, that forgotten little girl that forgot her royalty and where she came from. The little girl that felt like she didn't belong or never fit in properly anywhere. The little girl that felt like she had to mold and she fought so hard to fit in places she wasn't designed to fit in. This meditation, this conversation is with that little girl that desperately tried to fit in. That little girl that was forced to shame her body, her own skin, forced to shame her own voice. Yes, that little girl. Let's have a chat with her today. There was a time where our behaviors to fit in helped us to survive that time. But now, we don't need those survival tactics anymore. We can finally have the freedom to mold a new sense of self. This meditation is a gift to that little girl that we have buried deep down inside of us. It's a message just for her. If at any time at all, this meditation or this conversation becomes too much, please feel free to stop this practice at any time. Let's start by bringing our attention to the length of our natural breathing. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Let's take this time to ground to our bodies. Take a deep inhale in and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Feel the rise and fall of your body. Again, inhale and exhale. Take a moment and imagine a time in your life where you felt like you were very hurt, or you felt unnoticed, or you felt left out of the group. Sometimes these moments can be hard to pinpoint, and that is okay. It's perfectly normal. Simply take a moment to go back to that time. Go back to how it felt in that moment. Visualize a picture of a little girl. Imagine her standing right there in front of you. What is she wearing in this moment? What is her facial expression in this moment where she felt hurt, where she felt left out or unnoticed? If at any moment this becomes too difficult for you, we can ground and return to our breath. Inhale and exhale. Remember, you are here in this moment, in this present moment. Nothing is hurting you right now. Again, imagine yourself looking at this little girl. What was happening at this time? What were you feeling? Go ahead and ask your inner child, what is she feeling right now? And what hurt is she holding on to? Take a moment to have this conversation right now. And whatever is coming up for you, allow any emotions to come. It is okay. This is a safe space. Notice any physical sensations in your body. Whether it's a tense feeling in your neck, maybe tingling or shaking in your hands or in your legs. Tightness in your stomach. Whatever physical sensations are occurring right now, allow them to come as they are. Allow them to move in the way that they want to. Give your inner child some time to express her feelings to you. Allow her to open up her heart. If she's having a difficult time, we can ask her, what are you feeling right now? You don't have to worry. I won't judge you for your feelings. What story is she telling you? What is she really trying to tell you underneath these words? What does she really need or want? What do you need right now? After hearing her story, her some time to share her story. If your inner child is still, if she's still having difficulties opening up, let her know that she can trust you. Let her know that you are open to sharing her hurt with her. I can take your hurt. You can leave it with me. It's okay. I'll give you a few more moments to have this conversation with her and for you to listen to her story. Again, continuing to ground yourself in your breath as you hold her hurts, her worries, her burdens. After hearing her story, thank her for sharing her story. Thank her for using her words. Tell her that she is valuable and that her story is so important. Thank you for being so brave. You can even offer her a warm embrace. Imagine you're giving advice to a younger sister or someone close to you. What advice would you give her? As we move into our part of our meditation, our inner child affirmations, as we hold her hurts, and release those burdens from the past. Let's repeat the following affirmations. And allow these comforting words to resonate through our bodies. I am wonderfully made. I am valuable. I am lovable. I am Black and I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am a gift to this world. I am Black Girl Magic, and I wield magic with my words. And every step that I take, and every step that we take together, there is only love. There is nothing wrong with me. There is only love. I hope that this meditation can take you to a warm place and help you to feel safe and free. I hope you can feel comfortable in the woman that you are becoming. Before we leave our inner child, let's leave her with these last few words. I will never leave you. I will never abandon you. I am always here for you. Anytime you need me, I will be there. I will protect you. And I will never leave you. I'll see you later, and I'll see you soon. Whenever you're ready, you may open your eyes. Ashe. Welcome back. How did that conversation go with your inner child? I hope that we can continue the conversation. Let's continue the conversation with a letter to our inner child. Thank you for this meditation. And when you have the time, I would love for you to continue the conversation by writing a letter to your inner child in which you can write a letter. And I have these prompts that you can use to help you connect with her. With these questions, we can continue the conversation. And after writing your letter, I want to encourage you to write a response to your inner child. And you can try writing with your non-dominant hand. What this will do is that it will help you access the child and begin to heal those unprocessed burdens that might still be triggering us. Now, this technique might not work for everyone, but it's definitely worth a try. And so I highly recommend that you try it in your free time. In my personal experience, it was really, really impactful, really powerful. And so during our next session, the question and answer session, I would love for you to provide me any feedback about this meditation. And we can even continue writing our letters in the next session. And so I hope with this meditation, you were able to reconnect and have a conversation with your inner child. And I highly encourage you to play with your inner child, whether you have trauma with your voice, you can sing with your inner child, you can speak with your inner child, you can write with your inner child. Sometimes I visualize myself dancing with my inner child. Whatever works for you, I encourage you to experiment and play and to find how you can reconnect and heal from those hurts. And so, love and peace. Ashe, thank you so much for joining me with this session. I hope we can continue our inner child conversation in our question and answer session. I know your inner child is very happy that you decided to join me in this session. You're so courageous, and I hope that you can use this as a tool to release those heavy burdens from our past. If you enjoyed this meditation, please tune in to Soul Sister Sleep Meditations, available wherever you listen to your podcasts. I look forward to seeing you at our next session. And please, I'm open to any sort of feedback. I have a QR code on the screen with a Google form. So please let me know your thoughts. And yeah, please let me know your thoughts and your feedback. And thank you so much for joining me. And I hope and I know your inner child is thankful for you too. Thank you so much. Ashe.